Welcome back to another episode of Naperville Sports Weekly. I'm your host, Josiah Schuneman. The winter sports season wraps up this week. If you're looking for Bennett Academy boys basketball state highlights, they can be found on nctv17.org. On this episode, we have our spring sports preview show, where we will let you know what to watch for over the next several months. We start out the show with baseball, as Patrick Cotto gives you a glimpse of what's to come on the diamond.
We start off the baseball preview with back-to-back regional champions, Neuqua Valley. In 2022, the Wildcats had another strong season, winning the DVC regular season title and capturing yet another regional to add to the trophy case. Unfortunately, the postseason run came to an end with a sectional semifinal loss to Plainfield North. The Blue and Gold had to say goodbye to players like Palmer Domschke, Tyler Auer, Justin Noneman, and Colin Lewandowski. For the 2023 season, only a few players return, but this program brings out talent year after year. Catcher Mark Wagner, shortstop Josh Wenz, and pitcher Mark Meneke all return to the diamond this spring. All three enter their senior season with multiple varsity seasons under their belt. Fifth-year head coach James Thornton knows their leadership role will be pivotal.
They know what's expected, and they have stepped into that role tremendously. They have led us in a very positive direction, and then the other guys are just kind of filling in the gaps. It's a young team, but the guys that are the leaders, they have done a really good job of incorporating everybody to a point where I think we'll be good. We'll be okay.
The group of young guns and key veterans will take the field for the first time on March 17th against Bolingbrook. Now we jump over to the Naperville Central Redhawks, who have been on a serious tear, winning over 40 games in the past 2 seasons. Unfortunately for Redhawk fans, both campaigns ended with the loss in the regional final. But in 2023, 14 seniors, including many key sluggers, returned for Coach Mike Stock, the most ever during his tenure. UIC commit Pablo Nicoludis and DVC Player of the Year Colin Barzy are 2 Division I players looking to make some serious noise on the field. Clay Schrader, Michael Boyce, Andrew Gallegos, Chris McCormack, and Michael Albright will also be prominently featured throughout the central lineup. They also must find pitching to replace their ace Jack Skidmore on the mound. Even though several players have been through the grind of the varsity season, Coach Stock knows that the boys must continue to step up their games for themselves and their teammates in 2023.
As a head coach, you got to have challenges for them. You know, it's one of those things in which you need to have something fresh. You need to have something to keep them motivated to get better and to be impactful with themselves. But beyond that, they need to raise other people's game.
The Redhawks are ready to show off their roster, and that journey begins with Lincoln Way Central on March 18th. Let's jump over to Waubonsie Valley, who didn't have the postseason run they expected after winning the DVC tournament, knocking out strong teams like Naperville Central and Neuqua Valley. The Warriors unfortunately ran out of gas in the regional semifinal against Oswego, but they know that new opportunities have arrived in 2023. One of the top returning pitchers in the area wears green and gold. Juju Thompson earned a 3.31 ERA with 71 punchouts in 2022. Blake Pietrek also returns to the Warrior lineup after batting a .327 batting average last season. It will be a young squad this year, but the Warriors are up for the challenge. They take a trip to Jacksonville, Illinois to start off the season in the Jacksonville tournament. Going up Eola Road to Metea Valley baseball country, where the Mustangs hope to play like the team that started last season 4-0 and not the one that went 5-16 the rest of the way. To help the cause, this year's black and gold roster will have some big-time returners back between the lines. Drew Hopkins will be stepping back on the diamond, along with talented pitcher and outfielder Jeremy Rona. Mark Golmitis, Jaden Malone, Kyle Bucher, Jake Levine, and Danny Bastidas also returned for the Mustangs with the year of valuable varsity experience under their belts. The Mustangs are hoping to make some noise in 2023, and it starts with a road trip to Bartlett on March 22nd. Naperville North is another team in search of a bounce-back season in 2023. Although the Huskies did pick up a key series win over Neuqua Valley, and finished third in the DVC regular season. The Dogs will have some key returners back, like Tanner Malley, Zach Bava, along with senior outfielder Cole Clements. If the Huskies hope to make a big push this season, it begins with the home matchup against Willowbrook on March 20th. We finish with our lineup in Lisle with Bennett Academy, where the Red Wings saw their season end in heartbreaking fashion to Caneland in the regional final. Before that, the Wings started last season 2-8, but battled back to finish the season over 500. BA does return several strong players in seniors Luke Bafia, Sam Segurik, Cole Rosenthal, and Bradley commit Jake Perino, who contributes on the mound and at the plate. Juniors Luke Lauer and Mark Izzo will also see some more playing time on the mound and in the field. Always a threat to make a run once the postseason begins, Scott Lawler's ball club begins the 2023 campaign at Oswego on March 21st.
We stay on the diamond, but this time we check out softball. Can Neuqua Valley make it a three-peat as DVC champions? I give you a closer look at what teams will be making noise in the spring. The Neuqua Valley Wildcats were a force to be reckoned with in 2022. They were DVC and regional champions for the second straight year and made it all the way to a sectional final. Unfortunately, they came up one run short against West Aurora. The Cats' amazing senior class that included all-state performers like Hannah Meeks and Maya Clifford will not be back this year, which means an almost entirely different varsity roster and plenty of big shoes to fill. However, head coach Danny Esquini still has some key returnees who are ready to make a major impact.
One is Izzy Ernest. She was all conference last year for us, third baseman, pitches a little bit for us as well. She's bringing that experience back to the diamond, that leadership, positive attitude. We also have Natalie Liacani, who's coming back from last year. She's an outfielder for us. Once again, that experience from that varsity diamond she's bringing back.
The team will also be returning Trista Werner, Nadia Casanova, and Ava Dries, who picked up a bit of experience on varsity last season. All of them will be getting even more opportunities on the field this season. Even though positions and lineups have yet to be set, Coach Esquini says they're putting the puzzle pieces together and that the girls are excited and motivated for this season. We'll see if NV can continue its strong run of success in the DVC. Bennett Academy was another team that performed well last season. The Red Wings were one of the better teams in the ESCC and took home a regional championship in Class 3A. However, like Neuqua, they were knocked out in their sectional final, this time by St. Ignatius. The Wings will have to replace multiple talented seniors from 2022 in all-state selection Grace Fajardo, Elena Burdecka, Sammy Schilf, who committed to North Central, Sam Makitka, who signed with St. Mary's College, and many others. They will still have some key players back with names like Nina Passari and Taylor Sconza. Bennett hopes to continue the momentum of recent seasons, take another step this season, and work their way to the top of the ESCC. Neuqua wasn't the only squad making noise in the DVC. Naperville North proved to be elite as well, finishing just behind the Wildcats in the standings last year. The Blue and Orange won a team record 26 games and also secured a regional plaque for the first time since 2012 with a victory over their crosstown rival Naperville Central. The Huskies moved on to the sectional semifinal but fell to the DVC champs in a shutout. 5 seniors depart the program, including all-state first baseman Kendall Kedziora. However, they get multiple key players back like Shayna Woolwine, Olivia Hebron, Christina Donaldson, and reigning DVC Pitcher of the Year Charlotte Chelich, the all-state hurler who is already committed to Truman State. She and the Huskies look to finally dethrone Neuqua Valley and make a deeper run in the postseason. The Mattia Valley Mustangs are looking to take a big leap in 2023. They come off a season in which they struggled against non-conference opponents, but were a tough out in the DVC, finishing in third place behind North and Neuqua. Like the Huskies, the Mustangs were also eliminated by Neuqua Valley in the postseason. Despite the early exit, their efforts and head coach Michaela Paprota's first season provide hope for the program. Key players Nia Lewis and pitcher Nevaeh Cruz graduated, but Mattia will bring back multiple contributors going into this season.
So we are returning 10 players from last year, and then we've added 3 additional. All of them have been in the program for at least 1 year, so we have a lot of experience. We're also returning 2 all-conference players, Reese and Riley O'Neill. It's a new season, and that's what I keep telling them of just they need to come every day with more energy, more leadership, and just ready to go.
The Mustangs will have Genevieve Gonzalez returning along with seniors Michelle Hess and Macy Martin. Coach Paprota was pleased with her team's performance in 2022, and she says the girls are pumped to show the DVC what they've got this season. Waubonsie Valley had yet another difficult year in 2022. It was their 6th straight losing season, and the struggles carried into DVC play. They did pick up an impressive win over Naperville North in the middle of the season, but the good times were few and far between as their season ended in the regional semifinal, losing to West Aurora. The Warriors lose 6 seniors from last year's team, including Allison Kepler. The good news is that top hitter Hannah Laub, who missed the final month of 2022 with a knee injury and received surgery back in June, will return to the diamond, along with seniors Mackenzie Ondrachak and Anna Riggs, along with junior Gia Coburn. It will be a young roster heading into the 2023 campaign, but with their veteran leaders and a healthy Laub, the Warriors have the pieces to make some noise in the DVC. The Naperville Central Redhawks also went through a trying season last year. After losing a lot of the roster from 2021, they too had a losing record and could never find their footing against conference opponents. The team did go through a nice stretch late in April in 2022, but still finished near the bottom in the DVC. Central did pick up a postseason win, advancing to the regional final to face Naperville North, but as mentioned in the Huskies preview, the Redhawks were unable to get past their arch rivals. Annie Saran is among 3 seniors who have left the program. However, head coach Andy Nussbaum does return players like Courtney Fournier, Jamie Saran, Sydney Hurst, Lucas Sealing, Julia Nicholas, and Kendall Lentz, who committed to the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire back in July. With a blend of young and veteran talent, it will be no surprise to see the Redhawks bounce back to their winning ways this season. Up next, we'll preview the upcoming season in girls soccer here on NSW.
Oh no, I think I lost my debit card.
Okay, don't panic.
Don't panic, we're in a mall. Some stranger's probably tapping new shoes, tapping a washer-dryer combo, just tapping everything in sight.
It's okay, just tap your phone. With BMO, you can use your phone to freeze and unfreeze a lost card.
I can?
And you can always get a new card instantly at a BMO branch.
I got my tap back.
You ever seen someone this excited about a debit card before?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Not this excited.
When a bank gives you instant peace of mind, that's the BMO effect.
Local news is your lifeline. Let the Daily Herald help you navigate your world with solid reporting, good advice, and a much-needed diversion or two.
We stay on the field, but we go between the nets this time. How will Metea Valley look after winning a state championship last season? Who looks poised to make a run at the champs? Anthony Yench will walk you through girls soccer.
We start off our girls soccer preview with the Waubonsie Valley Warriors. Last year was a nice bounce-back season for Coach Bergstrom's side. In 2021, the Warriors finished with a 4-8 record. Last season, that improved to an 11-6-3 tally. However, in a strong DVC conference, the Green and Gold finished 4th in the conference with a 2-3 record, only beating Neuqua Valley and DeKalb. That led to the Warriors being seeded 7th in the Naperville Central Sectional, where the Warriors' season ended in double overtime to 10th seeded Lockport. For the 2023 season, the team is losing some key players such as Isabel Langenkamp, Brooke Nelson, Taylor Matthews, and Isra Khan. The good news for the Warriors is that 13 players from last year's roster, such as Eleanor Oster, Asa Potts, and Lauren Bornhoff, are making a return this season. And with the addition of players like Taylor Amadian, the Warriors hope that they can maintain their good form. Moving on to Naperville North. It's no surprise that the Huskies had another strong showing in the 2022 season, finishing with a 19-3-3 record. The Blue and Orange finished in 2nd place in the DVC behind Metea Valley, who were the Huskies' only conference loss of the season. In the state tournament, the Huskies picked up another regional plaque, beating Lockport by a score of 3-1 in the regional final. In the sectional semifinals, Coach Galetz's squad breezed past Oswego East 6-0. The Huskies' season ended in a 1-0 loss in the sectional final to the eventual state champions Metea Valley. The squad is going to look a lot different this season after losing 14 seniors to graduation, including Abby Haskell, Lucy Iverson, Nora Berry, and Madison and Taylor Korosek, only leaving 8 players from last season's roster set to return. It was another dominant season for Bennett Academy. The Red Wings finished top of the East Suburban Catholic Conference with a perfect 7-0 record. The Wings cruised through the early stages of the state tournament, outscoring their opponents 23-1, leading them to a regional and sectional plaque. In the Super Sectionals, the Red and White took down Dunlap by a score of 1-0, then won a thriller against Deerfield 3-2 to advance to the 2A state final. In a hard-fought 1-0 game at North Central College, the Red Wings fell short to Triad, finishing as the runner-up. After only losing 4 seniors to graduation, Coach Okener has a strong contingent of girls returning this season.
So we have 17 players returning from our team last year, including 8 starters, and we're really excited about some of the new players that we have, some of the new young talent to combine with all that veteran experience that we have, because there's really no replicating, the experience of going downstate and just having that feeling and being so close to, winning the ultimate championship.
Our next team is Neuqua Valley. It was a tough regular season for the Wildcats, who finished with a 7-9-2 record and 5th place in the DVC, with their only conference win coming against DeKalb. Although the regular season was tough for the Blue and Yellow, they made a statement in the state tournament by beating Plainfield East 8-0 in the regional semifinals. In the regional final, the Wildcats played number 1 seeded Naperville Central, and in a shocking turn of events, Neuqua knocked off the Redhawks in 3-1 fashion to win the regional championship, the team's 4th consecutive win. The Wildcats bowed out of the tournament in the sectional semifinal round to Metea Valley by a score of 2-0. The Wildcats will be losing 12 players this season, including standout player Brooke Miller, the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Illinois. Neuqua will also be without legendary head coach Joe Morrow, who retired at the end of last season. However, players such as Zoe Fabian, Selma Larby, and Lauren Milani will be returning, and the Cats are looking to build on the regional title under new head coach Arnaldo Gonzalez. Naperville Central had another good season under longtime head coach Ed Watson, who retired after 30 years as head coach at the end of 2022. The Redhawks ended their regular season with a 15-3-1 record and a 3-1-1 mark in the DVC. The Red and White started their state run with an 8-0 win over Yorkville. The Redhawks season ended in a surprising upset loss to Neuqua Valley in the regional final. Like a lot of our teams this season, the Redhawks will be losing 10 players, including some standout names like Abigail O'Connor, Molly O'Rear, and Sarah McCracken. The good news for Naperville Central is that Lauren Thorne, Ella Burke, and Megan Norkett will be back for another season. The Redhawks also tapped longtime boys soccer head coach Troy Adams to lead the girls program as well. Coach Adams hopes to keep the good times rolling after leading the Central boys to their first state title last fall. Last but not least, we have Metea Valley. The Mustangs turned in what was far and away the best season in program history last year, finishing with a record of 22-2-1. You could sense a special year was brewing when Metea won the DVC with a perfect 5-0 record. The Black and Yellow started off the IHSA tournament strong with wins over West Aurora and Plainfield North to secure a regional championship. The Mustangs then took down DVC opponent Neuqua Valley in the sectional semifinal before finally dethroning Naperville North 1-0 in the final, winning the first ever sectional title for the program. In the super sectional, Metea eliminated Edwardsville, followed by a 2-0 state semifinal win over Lincoln Way Central, putting the Mustangs in the 3A state final against Barrington. Through 100 minutes of play, the game was scoreless, sending the game into penalties, in which then senior goalie Julia Straub made 2 saves before Abigail Andra slotted home the winning penalty, giving Metea Valley the program's first ever state title. Coach Whaley says the team will look a little different this season, but there's still a lot to be excited about.
We had a decent amount of seniors that contributed a lot, and whether it was as starters or as role players. And so it's going to be a challenge to replace them. We returned Tyra King, she's a leading goal scorer. Jordan Lang, of course, who both of them were all-state players last year, and as well as Lucy Burke, who led the team in assists. So I feel like we've got some power in the offensive side of the ball. Ultimately, we work really hard because we want to have fun, we want to compete at a high level, and the girls have really enjoyed that mentality and that experience. So.
Let's switch from the turf to the courts, as Anthony is back again to give you the boys volleyball preview.
Starting off the boys volleyball preview with Neuqua Valley. Last season was an up and down year for the Wildcats, who finished with a 19-15 overall record. In conference play, the Blue and Yellow finished 6-2, which earned them a second place finish in the DVC behind Metea Valley. The The Wildcats finished their season with a win in the regional quarterfinals before falling in the semifinals after a 2-set loss to Downers Grove North. This year's roster will be almost completely different, with the likes of Cole Vonamy, Mason Densman, and Matt Penrose all graduating. Only 5 players are expected to make a return this year as the Wildcats look to improve on last season. The towering Gavin O'Brien will be one of the top returning seniors in the area. Moving on to another District 204 school with Waubonsie Valley. Much like Neuqua, the Warriors had a season full of high and lows, finishing with a 19-17 record. In the state tournament, the Warriors faced Bennett Academy in the regional semifinal, but in a thrilling 3-set match, the green and gold were eliminated. This season for the Warriors will be an interesting one after losing 12 of their 15 players from last year. With top players such as Andre Moeller, Michael Liu, and Ethan Quay moving on to college, the 3 returnees, Colin Bishop, Tyler Vasquez, and Richie Menon, will be looking to step up and have a strong season for the Warriors. Naperville Central struggled to find consistency in 2022, picking up 8 wins on the season and finishing in last place in the DVC. The Redhawks season ended early in the regional quarterfinals after a 2-set loss to Oswego East. The Red and White are going to be missing players such as Max Grummels and Jackson Deere, but the good news for the Hawks is that the roster was very young a season ago. The team has 5 returning juniors this spring, with the likes of Hudson Warrens trying to bring the Redhawks back to their winning ways. One of the top boys volleyball teams in the area last year was Bennett Academy. The Red Wings finished the year with an impressive 27-10 record and a 7-1 conference tally in the ESCC. The Wings made it to the regional final after a tough win over Waubonsie, but fell just short to number 3 seeded Lyons Township in an exciting 3-set match. The Red and Black will be losing some key players on the court, with Drew Rogers, Ben Guth, and Kovas Neverauskas graduating. For this season, Coach Steinberg says the squad will almost be entirely revamped.
This team's going to look very different than the team last year, just because if I think back to the team last year, I think everyone was a senior except for 2 players. So when you look at that, you're starting fresh this year with a couple guys coming back. We have 2 returners who started and played full time last year that will be back, but when you're filling that many pieces, the court's going to look different.
Another one of our schools that had a strong year was Metea Valley. The Mustangs were one of the most improved teams in the area with a 28-10 record with a 7-1 DVC record, good enough to win the conference for the first time in school history. The team also picked up a pair of postseason wins over IMSA and St. Francis, but like Bennett, the Mustangs lost in the regional final to Hinsdale Central. The Black and Yellow is another team that will be losing a majority of their starting roster, graduating players like Aiden Murphy and Chad Luckenbill. The good news for Metea is that 2 of the 4 returning players are Bartaz Chamelski and Robert Stewart, 2 talents who played a pivotal role last year and will surely be even more important this season. The last team of our boys volleyball preview is Naperville North. The Huskies ended their 2022 campaign with a record of 16-21, finishing with a 4-4 DVC record. The Blue and Orange won their opening matchup in the state tournament against Nazareth Academy before losing in 3 sets to Oswego. Unlike a lot of the teams we've talked about, the North squad will have a decent amount of players returning, with outside hitter Noah Hubreski and now sophomore Ermoon Bachalun among the 7 players that are expected to be back for another year, hoping that the Huskies can have success in the 2023 season. Naperville North will also be the lone local team with a new leader of the program, as Elijah Medlock takes the reins as head coach for the Huskies this spring.
Let's go back outdoors to the nets and check out our preview for boys and girls lacrosse. Joe Kennedy will show you what teams may be poised to make a run to state this spring.
Starting off with the Valley Co-op, who is coming off a sectional quarterfinal appearance last year. The Valley finished the season with a 9-10 overall record and a 2-4 mark in the DVC. The squad will have some holes to fill as their 3 top leading goal scorers in Tyler Sonker, Jake Meyer, and Paul Knox have graduated. The Valley returns some strong talent with junior Jake Owen, who recorded 19 goals for the team last season. Also coming back is senior midfielder Jacob Sutphin, who scored 10 times for the squad. Returning in net for the Valley is Ethan Delby. The team will begin its season on Friday, March 17th at Schaumburg High School. Moving forward to Naperville Central, who fell to the Valley Co-op last year in the first round of sectionals. The Red Hawks are looking to turn things around this year, and there is nowhere to go but up after not collecting a win last year. Central is led by head coach Blake Zinn, who helped bring the Red Hawks to 3 state Final Four appearances back when lacrosse was still a club sport. The Red Hawks will be without its captain from last year, Mo Totten, but the squad will welcome back midfielder Sean Wilson and junior goalie Alex Bird. Naperville Central will start its 2023 campaign at home against an old DVC foe in Wheaton North. Heading across town to Naperville North, where the Huskies are looking to build upon a great 2022 campaign. The Huskies fell to Bennett in a competitive sectional championship matchup. Head coach Kevin Benagis and his boys won't have to wait long to get another crack at the Red Wings.
We're opening up against Bennett again, so we ended the season last year and we're looking forward to playing them and opening the season with them this year. It's turned into a really nice rivalry with them, so we're fired up to see them again.
The team will look a little different this time around, with midfielder Ryan Gilligan and faceoff man Nate Hansen graduating in 2022, among others. Junior attacker Maddox Groves, who committed to Cleveland State over the offseason, returns as one of the best players in the area. Groves and Jack Hauk should make for an exciting attack for the Huskies. Senior captains Bennett Malley and Luke Chionis are also some notable returnees. The Huskies are hoping with a good mix of experience and newcomers, they can make it a step further to the Super Sectionals or even return to state for the first time since 2018. Now heading over to Bennett Academy, who had a great finish to its 2022 season. The Red Wings closed its campaign with 9 straight wins, including a sectional championship before falling to Wheaton Academy in the Super Sectionals. Bennett is coming off arguably its best offensive season, scoring 306 goals, the most in school history. A big help for that came from now senior Eric Lorenzel, who put up a whopping 83 goals and 120 points, both of which are the second most in Bennett's season history. The Red Wings will also return one of the best faceoff players in the state, in Michael Frieri. As a sophomore, Frieri won 78% of his faceoffs and put up 61 goals. Bennett will have to fill in for 2-time All-State defenseman Carson Forney, who moved on to play at Stony Brook University. The Red Wings will take on Naperville North to begin the season. Finishing up with the Neuqua Valley Wildcats, who had another amazing season, finishing in 4th place at state.
You know, we've had a talented team the past 5-6 years with 3 trips to the semifinals. 3rd was our highest in 2019. Last year, like you said, 4th. Really going to push to try to get to that state championship this year. We did lose a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. Graduated Andrea Borgo and Reese Barron. Probably had over 200 points combined, which we lost as they graduated and went on to college.
Returning for the Wildcat defense includes senior defenseman and captain Trevor Torres and long stick midi Bodie Perry. On the offense, Neuqua will bring back Liam Gramza and sophomore Jonah Frank. Also keep an eye out for freshman Ben Stefanski, a new addition to the program. The Wildcats have won 3 consecutive sectional titles and are looking to make a 3rd trip to state in the last 4 seasons this spring. The Bennett girls lacrosse team is coming off a 2nd consecutive super sectional appearance last season, where they fell to state runner-up Hinsdale Central. Now in her 2nd year as head coach, Amanda Kames is looking to get further in the playoffs.
We didn't graduate a ton of talent. We have really strong underclassmen that join us in our freshman class, and I expect us to be even stronger unit coming out of 2022 into 2023. So looking forward to getting back to that super sectional game with a different result.
Returning to the team are 3 Division I recruits: Notre Dame commit Shannon Early, Michigan commit Madeline Jensen, and Jamie Weber, who committed to Gardner Webb. Junior Dagny Tamba is also a vital player in the midfield. 3 incoming freshmen are on the radar to get minutes for the Red Wings as well. Bennett will open its season at Naperville North on March 13th. Moving to the Valley Co-op, who last year fell in the sectional quarterfinals to Naperville North. The Valley started their season strong with a 9-4 record before a stretch of tough games against North, Neuqua Valley, and Bennett Academy. The Co-op will welcome back many of its top players from last season, including Alyssa Zia and Sophia Morgan. Bella Kerr also returns in net for the squad. After making the sectional finals in 2018 and 2019, the Valley Co-op is hoping to make it back to that game and beyond. The Naperville Central squad welcomes a new head coach this season in Christian Pillapil. He takes over after spending the past 6 years coaching in the DuPage area. The Redhawks are looking to have a bounce-back year after falling in the first round of the playoffs. The Redhawks were not able to pick up a win last season, but with a new head coach, there's optimism for improvement. Central welcomes back now senior Eva Russell, who supplied some goals for the red and white. The Redhawks will open their season on Tuesday, March 14th against League and West Central. They start the conference season against the Valley Co-op on April 12th. Moving along to Naperville North, who made a nice run to the sectional semifinals before bowing out to Bennett Academy. The good news for the Huskies is that they bring back a lot of talent to this year's team. Returning for North includes all-conference selections Olivia Duda, Samantha Muller, and Haley Swatland. The squad will be without all sectional team nominees Christina Elo and Ella Marschitz, who have graduated. North is looking to get back into the sectional finals after back-to-back appearances in 2018 and 2019, including a fourth-place finish at state in 2018. The Huskies have a chance for redemption to begin the 2023 season as they take on Bennett in their first game of the year. Wrapping up with the Neuqua Valley Wildcats, who have their eyes on finally breaking through to the state Final Four after so many close calls in recent years. The Cats have made it to the sectional finals in 3 of the previous 4 postseasons. However, Neuqua will have some big shoes to fill as Jill Dennison, the team's top goal scorer from a season ago, has moved on to Grand Valley State University. Defender Taylor Meltzer, who plays collegiately at Lincoln Memorial University, also needs to be replaced. The midfield was run by Kelly Anderson last season, but she is another Wildcat now playing in college at Central Michigan. Despite these losses, Neuqua will still bring back a fair share of talent this spring. Returning for the blue and gold are Molly Keene, Eddie Keene, and one of the area's breakout stars in 2022, Zawadi Brown. The Wildcats' first contest is set for March 22nd against Wheaton. They will open up DVC play on April 12th against Naperville North.
Coming up, we look at what's to come in water polo here on NSW.
We tell everybody's stories big and small. Everybody's story matters to us, and it comes in a variety of shapes and sizes, and that's what makes it so special. We don't always need a big story. Sometimes we want a story that makes us laugh. Sometimes we want a story that we relate to. Sometimes we want to cry with that story. But more importantly, we want to hear the stories about our people in the community.
Oh yeah, I'll take one of your specials, my man.
There you go, princess.
We were there when you explored questionable street meat.
Maybe read the reviews next time?
We were there for that. And we're here for everything else. Here it's personal, because we get to know you.
Now we jump in the water. Patrick Cotto will walk you through the boys and girls water polo preview, including another look at a defending state champion.
We start with the team that took a massive leap up the boys' water polo rankings last season in Naperville North. The Huskies won 23 games, earning the 1 seed in the Neuqua Valley Sectional. North made it all the way to the final and took down crosstown rival Naperville Central to punch their ticket to the state series for the first time since 2014. Unfortunately, a 14-6 loss to Lyons Township in the quarterfinals ended a tremendous turnaround season for the Huskies. With that, they had to say goodbye to a strong senior class that featured leading scorer Tyson Berg, Patrick Horn, and goalie Cooper McClure. However, sophomores Mason Hoffman and Jack Reif both jumped back into the pool for another season and are likely to take charge as leaders for the Blue and Orange. The Husky season is underway with 1 game under their belt and begins the conference season with a tough test against Neuqua Valley. Let's head over to their crosstown rival, Naperville Central. After bringing home 4 straight state trophies from 2016 to 2019, including 3 first-place finishes, the Redhawks fell in the last 2 sectional finals to Neuqua Valley and Naperville North. The Redhawks graduated many players who played big roles like Nate Lukid, Jacob Wick, and Stephen Mander, to name a few. Juniors Ross Deser, Jack Gervais, along with seniors Quentin Sanders and Mason Schmidt, will look to lead the charge for Central. A chance for redemption for one of the perennial powers in the state of Illinois starts against conference rival Waubonsie Valley. Next stop is Waubonsie Valley, who burst out of the water into contender status last season, winning 26 games, the most in school history. Despite the record-breaking campaign, the season ended in the sectional semifinals at the hands of Naperville Central. However, the Warriors have so much optimism coming into 2023 with the return of juniors Cam Sansulo, Charlie Drohan, Keith Kabidian, Aiden Mahir, and goalie PJ Bartson are back looking to get the Warriors into that elusive state series. With the confidence from last year's success and so much talent back in the pool, another historic season is currently on the table.
It's huge to have those guys back and now kind of in a more leadership role of being upperclassmen. Working with our JV guys that are moving up, working with some of our varsity guys that have played in the past, because I know these guys have travel experience. So hoping to see a lot from them and their experience.
The Warriors already have a couple games under their belt with their first DVC clash on March 14th against Naperville Central, with a chance to avenge that sectional loss. After winning the first ever sectional and bringing home the first state trophy in 2021, the Neuqua Valley Wildcats took a step back in 2022 after the graduation of a strong senior class. Despite having a 9-16 record last season, the Wildcats won 7 of their last 9 games to end the regular season before falling to Naperville Central in the sectional quarterfinals. Players like Austin Olsen, Gino Valente, and Chris Cottrell are back for another season. With many Cats returning with at least a year of varsity experience in the water, head coach Chad Gandon is confident in what he has in the pool.
We're a good team, and they're working well with each other. They have fun with each other. They're trying to develop and build as a group. The senior class has taken a lot of leadership with our underclassmen, trying to teach them what we need them to learn. And so I see a lot of good just leadership, not just from our captains, but from other seniors.
The Wildcats have already competed in one game against Barrington. Up next is sectional champs Naperville North in the conference opener. Metea Valley has been a tough team for the past several seasons. That trend continued for the Mustangs, who had yet another strong season in 2022 after winning 21 games. However, they will have some big swim caps to fill going into 2023 after the graduation of leading scorer Tyler Leslie. They do return sophomore goalie Youssef Altoni, along with scorers Connor Conley and Cole Prince. The journey to a sectional championship has already begun with 4 games already in the books. The first conference showdown for the Mustangs comes March 21st against Eolo Road rival Waubonsie Valley. We jump into the pool with back-to-back state champions, Naperville North, who has gone 62-1-1 over the previous 2 seasons, culminating in the state titles. However, in 2023, it's a new bunch of Huskies after the graduations of Claire Jansen, Sarah Crossett, Alex Mantle, goalkeeper Ella Selman, and many other seniors who made major contributions during their campaign. Although this year the Dogs returned leading scorer Kelsey Wessel, Sophie Raquel, and Claire's sister Callista Jansen.
Every season's always good and exciting, seeing what the new crop of girls will be able to do. We've got some good incoming freshmen who've done some outside pool work with ODP. The entire team did some off-season polo training, whether it was locally here in Naperville or up in New Trier, Alliance, stuff like that. So they're coming in with a good deal of skill and ready to go.
Those 3, along with many new varsity faces in the pool, are ready to begin the quest for a three-peat, beginning with the conference opener against Neuqua Valley. Now we go to the Huskies' crosstown rivals from Naperville Central. After 3 straight state appearances from 2015 to 2017, the Redhawks have fallen in 4 consecutive sectional finals to Naperville North. This year's Redhawk pack brings back Annika Patel, Juliana Russo, and goalkeeper Claire Schiffer, hoping to dethrone the Huskies and return to their contending ways. Those seniors are ready to lead the charge for the Hawks, hoping to get over the sectional wall for the first time since 2017. Head coach Jeff Plackett is excited to see what the Redhawks bring to the pool this season.
Our captains did an absolutely outstanding job of organizing off-season workouts where they spent the last couple of months really nurturing those newer girls who are playing. So we're doing a little bit less teaching this year than we might normally do, and we're able to focus a little bit more on X's and O's and rotations, special situation play really right from the start of the year.
Conference polo season begins for Central against Waubonsie Valley on March 14th. Let's dive over to Waubonsie Valley, who the Redhawks knocked out in the sectional semifinals. The Warriors did pick up over 20 wins last season, but lost a strong group of seniors that led them to their 20-win season. Sophomore Ruby Meyer and senior Alex Skirka are two returners hoping to build off of last season's success. With those two leading the new faces in green and gold, it will be exciting to see what Chris Hagenbomber's squad will bring to the table. The season is underway with a couple of games already in the books. The Warriors will take on Naperville Central in the conference opener on March 14th. Metea Valley flipped the script in 2022, becoming one of the most improved teams in the state after only winning one game in the previous season. Despite getting knocked out by Naperville North in the sectional semifinals, the Mustangs picked up 16 wins last spring. In 2023, they bring back many experienced players, hoping to keep the juice flowing. Kira Henkel, Allison Leslie, Sarah Volks, and Julia Carter all got varsity playing time a year ago. They will be pivotal if they want to hang with any local powerhouse teams this spring and battle for a top 3 spot in the DVC. Metea will compete in their second game of the season against Lockport on March 13th. We wrap up with Neuqua Valley, who went through another coaching change. Former boys assistant coach Lou Caston will be taking over the girls roster, hoping for positive new beginnings for the blue and gold. The Wildcats only had 3 seniors in 2022, but players like Alexis Kubelbach, Nikki Pereira, Kaylin Tuma, and Bella Maresa are back in the pool to lead 16 new swimmers who drew interest in the sport. The Wildcats have a chance to turn the table after only winning 3 games last season. The season is already underway, and the Wildcats will face an early test beginning conference play March 14th against back-to-back state champion Naperville North.
Bennett Academy, our lone local team who competed in Class 1A a season ago, begins our boys tennis preview. The Red Wings did more than compete in the 1A tournament, they nearly won the whole thing. A mix of senior veterans and talented freshmen led the charge in 2022, with the doubles teams performing especially well. Seniors Drew Donovan and Noah Bobovchek made it all the way to the 2A doubles championship before falling in a hard-fought 3-set match. Senior John Yahiro and freshman partner Patrick Burke also made it to the final day and also fell in 3 sets in the 3rd place match. Noah's younger brother Zach won a sectional championship and a pair of matches at state as well, while another freshman singles player, Hugh Davis, also made it to state and won the ESCC in 2 singles. Alex Brown and Marcelo Bolivar are 2 upperclassmen who return with varsity experience, while junior Michael Campione is another name to watch. Burke, Davis, and the younger Bobovchek returning as sophomores gives the Red Wings and legendary head coach Michael Hand a great foundation for another run at the 1A title in 2023. Waubonsie Valley did not have a season to write home about if you look at the DVC regular season standings from 2022. However, the Warriors were able to put forth a strong effort in the sectionals as Elliot Dom finished as the runner-up in singles, and Pranav Inampudi and Jackson Jiang qualified for state in doubles by taking 4th place. While Dom has graduated after a great career, Inampudi and Jiang will be back as the top doubles duo. Aiden Lamb also returns for his senior season after playing both doubles and singles last year. Senior Rishi Mahadevan is the other high-end varsity returner from 2022. Daud Saeed, Brian Daniels, Issa Nazir, Tayal Samayan, and Tiro Kovaluru all have the chance to work into the varsity rotation for the green and gold. Freshmen Hector Diaz, Rebneth Kothapali, and Gautam Mani are all newcomers to watch for as well. Neuqua Valley is always a top team in the area, and 2022 was no exception as the Wildcats earned another sectional championship. Neuqua is fortunate to return their top 2 singles players in junior Johnny Moe and senior Divya Chowra, who both qualified for state last season. Moe is the preseason favorite to emerge as the top singles player in the DVC. Both Neuqua's doubles teams qualified for state a year ago, but each pairing lost a senior to graduation. Jonah Grover from 1 doubles and Tyler Yu from 2 doubles have moved on, but seniors Sid Javeri and Kai Sun are both back and will likely team up to form the top doubles team for the blue and gold this spring. Metea Valley fell 1 point shy of a sectional championship in 2022, but still managed to earn multiple state qualifiers. Akshay Bade and partner Nikunk Tyagi were the doubles runner-up in both the DVC and sectional championships. Tyagi has now graduated, but Bade returns for his junior season. The Mustangs also have their top singles player back for his senior year in Adik Gandhi. The Mustangs return a good number of talent, which should have them right in the mix of the conference race and state qualifying spots. Josh Kadakia and Pranav Swaminathan returned for their senior seasons after a DVC championship win in 2 doubles last spring. Junior Jack Jordan, senior Salish Senthil Kumar, and sophomore Mahir Arya will all feature prominently in varsity matches this season. Naperville Central did not win the DVC or a sectional championship. However, the Redhawks did have the best team score at the 2A state meet a season ago, finishing in a tie for 8th place. The lion's share of that credit can go to now graduated star Blake Regner, who won the DVC and sectional singles titles and advanced to the state quarterfinals. The good news for the Red and White is that there are some experienced state qualifiers returning to the roster, with Vincent Yin ready to take over at 1 singles in his senior season. Daniel Rabinovich also returns as a senior after qualifying for state in 2022, although his doubles partner, Uju Kim, has graduated along with another solid doubles player, Daniel Wu. In addition to Yin and Rabinovich, there's a lot of talent coming back to fill the gaps at the top of the varsity roster. Ethan Rupp, Vincent Stafudis, Jeremy Zhao, Will Reichus, and Brandon Speckman are all seniors hoping to end their careers on a high note, while returning upperclassmen Peter Pike and Rohan Jha will also be in the mix. Our final team put forth one of the best seasons in recent memory under head coach Heather Henriksen. The Naperville North Huskies won both the DVC Team Championship and the Metea Valley Sectional title in 2022. The Blue and Orange also have the top doubles duo in the area returning for their senior seasons, and 2-time state qualifiers Dovidas Jasanuskis and Nathan Lee, who also won the DVC and sectional titles. State singles qualifier Zach Slade will certainly be tough to replace, but senior Luke Fernandez has 2 years as the Huskies' number 2 singles player under his belt. Akash Bansal is also an experienced doubles player who could remain at 2 doubles or switch over to the singles division. Sophomore Arush Bharadwaj is also a candidate to jump into the top varsity spots. It's a large varsity roster for the Huskies this spring, with a big number of freshmen and sophomores joining the squad as well. It will be interesting to watch who steps up for the Huskies as they look to repeat as top dogs in the DVC when the season begins in early April.
Next up, we have boys and girls track and field. Marcel Francis will let you know which teams will be taking leaps in the spring.
We begin with the Red Wings of Bennett Academy, who come off a great season as they won the 2A sectional title in Plano and send several athletes to the state meet down in Charleston. Bennett, though, will be missing some familiar faces due to graduation. Jason Huang, who finished in the state 100-meter hurdles, and Jack Chavadal finished 4th place in the high jump, including Jason Schneed, Kyle Mode, and Daniel Pepping, who ran in their state 4x400-meter relay. Also, Grant Ross, Sean Kingston, and Tommy Naughton ran in the state 4x800-meter relay and other distance races. However, plenty of talent is returning for the Red Wings, like Jonah Koblinski, who ran in the state 4x800-meter team, and Owen Takahashi, who both ran in Bennett's 4x400-meter relay as well. In addition, Michael Baker and Chris Charter returned from their state 4x100-meter relay. With the Red Wings bringing back plenty of experience, head coach Brian Quick believes the boys in red and black will be looking to have repeated success this season. The Naperville North Huskies had a great postseason last year as they were crowned sectional champions at Lockport Township and continued success at the IHSA state finals with multiple top 3 finishes and qualified several all-state athletes. The Huskies will have some holes to fill as all-state 300-meter hurdler Brian Holmes, who now runs at Lewis University, and Matt Pisteris, who was a member in their all-state 4x100-meter and 4x200-meter relay teams for the Huskies, is gone as well. Yet the Huskies return plenty of speed, some of which you may have seen in the Husky backfield earlier this season in Danny Elo and Nate Jacobs, who were both part of the all-state relays and were state qualifiers in the 100-meter dash. Jacobs was additionally a state qualifier for the 200-meter dash. Elo has already broken the school record this year for the 55-meter dash in indoor. Additionally, Viola returnees are seniors Colin Cochran, repeating in the distance event, and Emmanuel Wang, jumping into the sand pits. With plenty of talent returning for the Huskies, Naperville North head coach Chris Arthurs is excited about what the year has in store and believes his team can build off of last season and continue their postseason success. The Huskies opened the outdoor season at the Best Invitational at Wheaton North on April 8th. Last season was an impressive one for the Naperville Central Redhawks. They were crowned as indoor DVC champions and were runners-up in the outdoor season. Athletes from last year's team such as Chris Fletchett, Ryan Eck in the pole vault, and runners Chris Comer and Graham McInich, Nick Keeling, and Samir Hussein all helped lead the team through their strong performances all season, including at the state meet. Athletes returning for the Redhawks include thrower Maverick Oley, who was only a junior and finished second at state in the discus last year. Foster Shelbert, Luke Noren, and Sam Barnard are all returning members of their 6th place finish at state in the 4x800 meter relay and have already hit state qualifying marks this indoor season. In addition, Bode Smith returns as part of their 5th place state finish in the 4x400 meter relay team along with Shelbert. With the Redhawks returning plenty of all-state experience in the field and on the track, head coach Steven Stack believes that his team can maximize its full potential. The Redhawks season kicks off with hosting a dual meet against Hinsdale Central on April 4th. Next are the Warriors of Waubonsie Valley, who had a solid season last year as well, finishing 3rd in the outdoor DVC, 2nd in indoor DVC, and setting multiple new school records in the process. The Warriors will have some big spikes to fill as well, as all-state distance runner Angel Solis is now running at UIC, and he set the new school record in the 1600 meter. In the field, thrower Sam Mika, now at the University of Southern Alabama, and Jeremiah Hatchett finished all-state in the discus. Other state qualifiers who have moved on are Jose Barragan in the shot put, Chris Mesrandino and Aiden Oster, who were both part of their state 4x800 meter relay. The Warriors' outdoor season will begin at the Gus Scott Invitational, hosted at Naperville North on April 14th. The Mattia Valley Mustangs are looking to further improve their success on the track in 2023. Last season, Jalen Johnson helped contribute with numerous standout performances. He finished his Mustang career as a back-to-back All-State athlete in the 110-meter high hurdles. There is still talent returning for the black and gold. Daniel Perre is a junior who has been running on varsity since his freshman year, and Ramizi Abriar bring back experience, having run on varsity last season as freshmen. The Mustangs will hit the outdoor track for their Mattia Valley Triangular meet on April 18th. Last but certainly not least are the Wildcats of Neuqua Valley, a perennial power who finished 3rd in the DVC indoor and are reigning outdoor DVC champions.
We did have a couple of really awesome state performances. For instance, we had Nick Pennington was 2nd in the pole vault last year. We had our 4x2 was all state, but and we had some good state qualifiers with Zach Close in the distance, the 3200 meter. We have our distance, just incredible distance squad with our 4x8 with our 4x8 group plus Zach Close. You have Zach Close in the longer events. We have, for instance, James Emmenhauser in the long jump and the triple jump. We have Austin Bell, who has shown incredible promise in the 60 meter and the 200 meter.
The Wildcats are a well-oiled machine as they reload their roster with talent every year. They are no strangers to postseason success, having won a pair of 3A state championships in the last 5 seasons in 2018 and 2021. Neuqua Valley begin the outdoor season versus Batavia and Bennett Academy on April 6. We start with the Red Wings of Bennett Academy, who had an exceptional 2022 season, winning both conference and sectional titles and sending multiple athletes down to the 2A state championships in various events. Bennett Academy has a healthy number of state competitors returning, including senior Louisa Diamond, who was a finalist in the 1600 and 3200 meter runs. In the field events, state finalist high jumpers Valerie Soros and Abby O'Connor come back along with Nicole Grimes and Jane Dees, competing in the pole vault, and Diana Singzong in the triple jump. With plenty of talent the Red Wings have on their roster, Bennett will be well positioned to compete as conference and sectional champions and send plenty of athletes down to Eastern Illinois. Next is the Huskies of Naperville North, who are one of Illinois' premier track and field programs, spearheaded by head coach Dan Iverson.
We had a really good year last year. It was we were top 10 in the state. We second at conference outdoors, we won conference indoors. It was a good year. We lost a lot. We lost several All-Staters, and Ashley Kushner and Christina Gu and Madeline Andelbrad and Jackie Liu. We lost Denise Hernandez. It was so we lost a really talented group of seniors this last year.
The Huskies reload their roster with plenty of talent, competing with the best of the best. Some names include Julie Pio, Logan Brennan, Clara and Lily Longenbaugh in the sprint and hurdles, while distance runners are already ready to contribute following another strong cross-country season. The Huskies begin their season at the Lee Calhoun Invitational at Western Illinois on April 7th. The Mattia Valley Mustangs had a solid season last year, finishing third in the indoor DVC, had 4 state qualifiers, and broke 10 school records throughout the season. Their 2022 state qualifiers, Sarah Maggio, who ran in the state 3,200 meters, Mariah Lambert in the 100-meter dash, and distance runner Kelly Bear, who played a crucial role at Invitational and Conference Championships, have now all graduated and run at the collegiate level. Some of the key leaders on the track and in the field events this season will be Kyla Harris, who ran at state last year in the 400-meter dash, and Anastasia Murphy, who was a state finalist in the high jump. The Mustangs have all the pieces to have a promising season ahead. The Warriors of Waubonsie Valley did not send any athletes down to state in 2022. They also lost some essential runners like Ella Brassad in the 100-meter dash, Emily and Elizabeth Barboza in the 400 meters, Peyton Green in the 800 meters, and Abigail Hess in the hurdle events. However, the Green and Gold still returned talent from last season who showed promise in sectionals that include Taylor Ahmadian in the 100 and 200 meter, Lindsay Matthews in the 800 meters, Brianna Hopf in the 100 meter hurdles, Carmen Solis in the 1600 meters, and distance runner Lily Byback, who ran on varsity as a freshman. The Warriors have familiar faces that can lead their team to new heights this season and make the trip down to Eastern Illinois to compete in the state meet. Next are the Neuqua Valley Wildcats, who had an exciting 2022 season after coming off their first sectional title in a decade, featuring several state qualifiers who helped their team finish 6th at the state meet. With that, Neuqua brings back a mature team with plenty of experience on the big stage. Breakout star Zawadi Brown was a state qualifier in the long jump, a state finalist in the 400-meter dash and 200-meter dash, and the anchor on the third-place 4x100-meter relay team. Brown also broke the outdoor 200-meter record for Neuqua Valley last spring. The Wildcats also bring back Chioma Annie Abunam, a state qualifier in the 100-meter dash and a member of their 4x100-meter relay team. Tolu Arimu, who was also the leadoff leg in their state third-place 4x100-meter relay. In addition, distance runner Carissa Hamilton qualified for state in the 1600-meter and 3200-meter races. Neuqua Valley head coach Gretchen Pareko has a stacked team full of talent with an already established team continuity. They aim to compete with the best of the best throughout the outdoor season. Last but certainly not least, the Red Hawks of Naperville Central are coming off a great season, having finished second for the indoor DVC and were crowned DVC champions for the outdoor season. They also sent multiple contestants down to the state championships. The Red Hawks too bring back almost their entire state team, as those include Sophie Custero, who ran in the state 400-meter dash, Ava Hendren, who was a finalist in the 3,200 meters, and Brooke Sawatsky, who competed in the state triple jump and 100-meter hurdles. Brooke Billick and Lola Satri Morales also return, having ran as freshmen on Central State 4x400-meter relay team with Custero and Sawatsky. Junior Liz Phillips also returns for the distance events after being a few seconds shy of the state cut in the 3,200 meter last spring. Head coach Philip Allen believes his team, full of state experience and upperclassmen leadership, has what it takes to compete for championships this season.
Oh no, I think I lost my debit card.
Okay, don't panic.
Don't panic, we're in a mall. Some stranger's probably tapping new shoes, tapping a washer-dryer combo, just tapping everything in sight.
It's okay, just tap your phone. With BMO, you can use your phone to freeze and unfreeze a lost card.
I can?
And you can always get a new card instantly at a BMO branch.
I got my tap back.
You ever seen someone this excited about a debit card before?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Not this excited.
When a bank gives you instant peace of mind, that's the BMO effect.
Naperville Crime Stoppers.
Yes, I'd like to report some suspicious activity in my neighborhood. How does this work?
Yes, thanks for calling. Your call is anonymous, and I will not ask for your name. Instead, you'll be identified by tip number. In a few weeks, call back with the tip number you received, and I will let you know the status of your tip. If an arrest is made, you could receive a reward up to $1,000.
How do I get the reward money if you don't know who I am?
Well, when you call back, we set up a time and a place to drop the money. You will be safe, and nobody will know you gave Crime Stoppers a tip.
Okay, well, here's what's going on.
We go from the tracks to the mats. Justin Cornwell will give you the inside scoop on our two boys gymnastics teams.
After taking the reins as head coach of the Naperville Central boys gymnastics team back in 2020, Dan Bajek has steadily been building the depth and experience of the Redhawks roster. After making improvements throughout last season, Central returns 5 of 6 varsity starters in 2023. That gives the fourth-year head coach plenty of reasons for optimism for a program looking to take the next step.
Yeah, so last year our goal was to break 120 or higher as a varsity team score. And our highest score, we broke 127, so our goal this year is to try to break 130. We had a good showing tonight. We tried really hard. We've been working really hard in these first few weeks of practice. I'm proud of what the boys did so far. We do have 2 of our varsity members out for various reasons, so we're hoping to get them back soon. So our goal is 130 or higher this year.
Andrew Bajek is the lone varsity starter lost to graduation, meaning that top returners like Brady Bechtel, Alex Cepeda, and Tim Engman are back on the vault, floor, bars, rings, and pommel horse for the red and white. All 3 are still only juniors, as freshmen like Grant Gardiner and Aiden Klein are ready to fill in as needed as the next generation of Red Hawk gymnasts.
Who are we? Huskies! What are we going to do? Get it up!
Speaking of optimism, Naperville North and head coach Chris Stanisek could not be more excited to see what this Husky squad can do on the mats this spring. The Blue and Orange return 2 state qualifiers in all-arounders Jack Halama and Avi Sharon. Senior Kai Goodrick is also back, while junior Declan Smith arrives with all-around ability as well. Matas Budreka just adds depth for the Huskies, who started off the season with a victory earlier this month.
We're looking pretty good. This is our first meet, and I'm really proud where those guys are right now and what they're doing. We know we got a lot to work on and things to add in, skills to elevate our starting value, but for our first meet, I'm really glad how we performed. The kids did awesome, and yeah, we got high expectations in this gym for our team this year, so we're looking forward to it.
With talent and returning experience on the roster, Naperville North Boys Gymnastics could be in position to send multiple gymnasts and perhaps the entire team to state this spring.
For our final preview of the show, we wrap things up with badminton. It's Justin again. This time he tells you who is coming back for our 5 teams in the always daunting DuPage Valley Conference.
What better way to start our preview than with our top badminton finisher in 2022, the Naperville North Huskies. The Blue and Orange followed up a state championship run in 2021 with a 3rd place finish last season. Senior Amanda Ng made the most of her first year playing high school badminton, getting all the way to the state singles championship before finishing as the runner-up. Despite having the best state finish of our local teams, the Huskies have the most varsity roster holes to fill this spring. Ng is gone, as are the top Huskies doubles team Rosanna Liang and Connie Liu, who were sectional champions last year. State doubles qualifier Bibian Khan has also graduated, but head coach Heather Schild always has her girls ready to step into the spotlight. Khan's former partner Katrina Petrikite returns for her junior season. Shannon Chu, one of the most dynamic players in the state of Illinois, is also back on the court to lead the team in her senior campaign. The All-State player finished in 4th place in singles last year. Metea Valley has continuously proven to be a top 10 program in the state over the past 5 seasons. The Mustangs matched their best ever finish at state in 2022, ending the tournament in 6th place. It will be tough to replace the talent of All-State doubles duo Vivian Koch and Sophia Wang, who finished in 3rd in 2021 and 5th in 2022. Metea head coach Nikki Liska is excited for the 2023 campaign, with many state qualifiers returning.
We're really excited about this season. We do have a lot of returning players, so we have Shri and we have Anjana and Ria and Vamshika and Tamai, who are all great leaders for the program this year. And a lot of juniors and a sophomore and freshmen really stepping up to the plate to help us out. Really trying to recreate that family atmosphere and a strong varsity team under new leadership, and just making sure that we still stay competitive.
Senior Anjana Viswanathan and junior Raya Awala, who made it as a doubles team, are back, as is junior Sri Batula. Tanmayi Sharat will take more of a prominent role in her senior year as well. It's a young Mustang squad, but the senior leaders are ready to step up for the next generation of black and gold contenders. Naperville Central was a team led by its strong doubles players a season ago. Hannah Ann and Michelle Wu won the sectional doubles championship and finished in the top 12 at state, while Jessica Pei and Simi Kama also qualified in doubles. Hannah Ann and Jessica Pei are returning this spring as this promising group's senior leaders. Daniela Aldeguer also returns after being just one win shy of state singles qualification in 2022. Gianna Giao and Megan Moreno are some intriguing newcomers who should help head coach Tamara Burke add depth to this Red Hawk roster.
You know, it is tough. It's a tough conference that we're in, but to be able to have the opportunity to play, you know, the tough competition is what makes us better. You know, so I think we have a great opportunity to be competitive with those schools, and you know, our girls know that they have to play their best when we're playing conference matches. So yeah, we definitely are in a good spot when we get to the postseason, because we have seen a lot of the best players in the state at that point already.
Waubonsie Valley has not had the most remarkable team success in recent seasons, but there always seems to be at least one standout performer on the roster. Last season was no exception, as freshman Carissa Chen burst onto the scene and finished the year as the 6th best singles player in the state. It was a very young roster for the Green and Gold in 2022, with only 2 seniors on varsity. In fact, the entire sectional roster should be back for 2023. Nora George and Shruti Vasudevan came close to state qualification in doubles and hope to build on that chemistry this spring. Gantharini Kanaga Sabapathi and Sarishika Pula are also back for their senior seasons, as is singles player Rissa Mohapatra. New head coach William Carson has a well-stocked cupboard of returning talent that should provide plenty of optimism. We wrap up with the program that has been a state contender every season for the past 8 years, Neco Valley. The Wildcats earned yet another sectional title in 2022 and made their mark at the state meet with a 4th place team finish. It will be tough to replace the now graduated doubles pairing of Bobby Barnwell and Nayun Lee, the sectional champions who won 4 matches at state. But the other state qualifying doubles team for the Blue and Gold will return, with seniors Arushi Chaudhry and Cynthia Zhang. Wanhan Sun is back as a junior after qualifying for state last season, along with star sophomore Hannah George, who had a phenomenal freshman campaign, capped off by a sectional title and a 3rd place finish at state. Neco Valley is once again locked and loaded to bring home another state trophy this May.
That's it for the Spring Sports Preview Show. We are so excited to see what our local teams have in store for this season. Next week, we'll be back to our normal show format with lacrosse, water polo, track and field, and girls soccer all getting their seasons underway. Don't forget, we're always online. Check us out on our website for extended highlights and stories at nctv17.org. You can also find us on social media at nctv17 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Naperville Sports Weekly, I'm Josiah Schuneman. Thanks for watching.